And you're going to mute everybody?
Oh, yes, thank you. I totally forgot about that. There we go. Now everybody should be muted and we'll start. So today let's start with a little breath work and in a different position. So let's lie on the front of our body and you can support your head. Just let yourself be nice and relaxed. And just breathe and try to see if you can get your breath to the back, to the quadratus lumborum area. When we're on our bellies, it helps because the floor is keeping us from pushing all that air into the frontal abdominals. So see if you can get that feeling of when you breathe in, that area lifts and spreads out to the sides. Just two more. Now see if you can just feel on two more breaths how the whole entire circumference of your torso, front, sides, and back, are now expanding a little on your inhale. So the whole surface is being activated just by your breath. And then gently just roll yourself over to your back. And let's bring our hands where our thumbs are on our ribs and our fingers are on our pelvic bone. And let your hands rest. So not up in the air, let them rest. So now the edge of your palms are on the side of the body. And take a few more breaths there and see if you can feel that same filling in of the whole entire circumference, not just the front, but the whole entire area around your torso. And then just change that hand position so the thumbs are in the back. So lift up and get those thumbs in there. Make sure they're not on a bony surface. Have them be where in between your rib cage and your pelvis. And see if you can feel those fingers being pushed out. Now, all of us have a tendency to be a little asymmetrical. So if you have one side that's more active than the other, try to direct your breath to the side that's a little less lifted into the surface of your hand. For me, it's my lower left. So see if you can even that out so that the muscles are equally activated on both sides. Just one more inhale and exhale. And then release those hands and just take two more breaths and see if you can still get that feeling. And then let's bring our hands to our skulls. Make sure you have a nice cradle with your hands. Make sure those shoulder blades are down your back. Don't let them reach up just because you've put your head in this position. And take an inhale as you start and exhale and curl to the shoulders. Grab those thighs and curl up a little higher. Release those hands, bring them back, and then roll back down. Just two more like that. So inhale as you start, exhale as you curl, sliding those ribs to the pelvis, grab the legs, slide those ribs a little further, release, hands to the head, and back down. One more just like that. Inhale to start, exhale, slide, grab those legs, slide those ribs a little closer again, Bring those hands back and roll down. Next time we're going to stay there for a bit. So inhale to start and exhale to slide. Grab those legs and slide those ribs a little closer. Bring your hands to your head. Try to lift one leg off. So not full to tabletop, but just feel what it feels like. We're moving the legs, but we have to control it through the torso. We don't want anything to shift. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more set. And roll down. Take a nice breath here, cleansing breath. And then inhale to lift, exhale to slide. Grab those legs, pull yourself a little farther. Make sure your lower back is nice and flat all the way through the tailbone. No tucking here, just keep it nice and long. Bring your hands back to the head and rotate to the right and center and lift. So it's just a little lift in the chest, but you can feel how much those abs have to work. And in. And rotate. Let's do 2 more sets for 5. And rotate, keep reaching up and rotate. Last side. Come to the center. Grab those legs, bring yourself up a little higher. Release. Hands to the head and roll all the way down. Hopefully that was a good little warm up for your abs. So let's have our arms on the floor and really try to make sure that the shoulder blades are nice and wide and resting on the mat. Not squeezed together so that you arch, just wide. Like if you don't know how that feels, try putting your fingers right on the head of the arm bone and reach out into your fingertips to spread those shoulder blades wide. Now, any amount possible, relax those lower ribs towards the floor. And we're going to just start with toe taps. So bring your legs up to tabletop and tap that right foot down for 5 times. Making sure that nothing shifts. We're just moving the leg, keeping the torso all the way through the pelvis, nice and still. 1 more on this side. And let's go to the other side. Last one coming up. And toes down. And hold here. So now we're going to try to lift our head a tiny bit. And again, reach away. And let's do alternating this time. Reach away. Keep sliding towards the pelvis. Don't let the pelvis rock. Keep it nice and stable. 2 more sets. Keep reaching up. Don't let it drop. Last set. And then put your feet down. Lift a little higher if you can. And then roll all the way down. Good. Bring your legs back to tabletop. This time we're going to try to do double leg tap. So only go as far as you can keep that lumbar flat into the floor. That's just like when we do lower lift. That's your marker. So if 2 legs gets to be too much, go back to single leg and just lower both legs down. Feel those abdominals having to work. That's more weight than 1 leg. So it has to work a little bit harder. Feel it all the way up the frontal body. Keeping the pelvis nice and flat. Don't let it go into a little arch in the lumbar. 2 more. And last one. Good. And then put your feet down. Just let your arms be wide on the floor so that it'll be your stability. Palms down. Bring your feet together, knees together, and just let your knees drop to one side. So first we're going to just start with a really simple twist. Come back to center and over to the other side. And back to center. Now we're going to have our legs in tabletop, arms above the chest. So reach up to the ceiling, let those arms come wrapping around, and then pull the shoulder blades back down, nice and square. One more time, reach on up, and pull those shoulder blades down. Try not to move the arms, but we're going to bring our legs over to the right. Leave your shoulder girdle on the floor. Now try to bring the ribs down first to return. So inhale as you go over, the hips lead as we go over to the side. Now bring those ribs down to start the return. If you just let the legs move, you're not going to get any abdominal work because the legs are so heavy. They can do that just by the weight. So you want to think about bringing those ribs back down to the floor to start that return. Let's do 2 more sets. Inhale as you go over and exhale, return. Inhale over. And exhale, return. One more set. Inhale over and return. Last side. Inhale over and exhale to come back. Good. Put those feet down and bring your arms down. We're going to go into bridging next. So put your feet where you know it's good for you and then press into the feet. You'll know there are good distances, just that little pressing into the floor. You feel a very tiny bit of activation in those hamstrings. Lift the toes up and spread them out. And now imagine yourself pulling your heels towards your buttocks. You should feel those hamstrings working right now without even moving. Relax. Without moving the feet, pull those heels towards your buttocks and feel the hamstrings activate. Take an inhale as you start that roll and come up to your shoulders. One nice long line. Take a nice big breath there and return. Thinking now of the sits bones reaching for the heels to keep you active all the way through the whole entire space. And inhale as you start that roll up. Exhale, reach those knees away, all the way up. So we're not arching, we're trying to make a nice long line. Inhale here and exhale. Try to hold the hips up and let that spine reach for the heels. Keep reaching for the heels. Lengthen, 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 lengthen until you're all the way down through the tailbone. Last time like this. Inhale, curl and roll. Good. Feel that nice action front and back of the body. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale. Start your roll down, thinking of reaching towards your feet so that you keep lengthening one vertebra away from the prior, all the way till you're nice and flat. Good. Let's go up again, and this time we're going to do a little bit of work with our legs. So curl on up, reach long, make sure you're nice and stable. And let's bring one leg up to the ceiling. With a pointed foot, reach it down and flex that foot to return. Reach it long, keeping the other side nice and lifted so you don't start falling down, using the back side of the body. And reach, let's do 8 of these, so we'll do 4 more. Reach long and flex, return. Reach long and flex. Reach long and flex. One more time, reach it and return. Bend that knee, bring it down to the floor, stabilize, and make sure the pelvis is nice and level. Reach that other leg up and reach it down and flex it up. Decide whether you prefer the in breath as you go down or the out breath as you lay that leg down. Everybody has a breath that works better for them. And 4 more. And reach and flex and reach and flex. Last 2. Reach and flex and reach and flex. Bend that knee. Lift up nice and tall. Now from here, just come down in one piece and then lift up through the hips. Down, the hinge point is the bottom of the pelvis, and lift up. 2 more. Down and lift up. 1 more. Down and lift up. And now reach up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a nice inhale and this time roll down. Roll down, reaching for those feet as you're rolling down. Nice separation there. Good. That should feel nice. Let's do a roll up, and if you like your legs bent, just keep them bent. If not, we're going to lengthen our legs long. Bring our arms over the chest. Bring those arms back towards the hips. Now, as you reach the arms over, pay attention to the back body and make sure those ribs aren't reaching up to the front of the torso. Keep them nice and long, nice and flat. And just one more time like that. Reach them up. And now we're going to come into our roll up. So tuck and curl. Think of a ball on your lap. Reach up and over. Reach those arms over your head and lift that sternum up. Bring those arms back to center and start your roll down. All the way. Start your curl with your neck and then drop those spine towards the floor. So you have to work a little harder in the front of the body. Imagine you have a ball on your lap, up and over. So we're not just collapsing. Reach those arms up over the head and lift that sternum. And then arms come to the front. Start with a tail tuck and drop one part at a time. Try to control through the middle. Inhale to start and exhale. Sorry, I did my hands a little differently that time without even thinking. Ball on your lap and reach forward. So keep the shoulder blades down the back. Don't let them come up. Reach up. Lift the sternum. So just a little upper back extension. And roll down. This next time when I come up, I'm going to stop at one point just to say one thing. So inhale as we start. Now when you start peeling off, try to think of the spine in the back, reaching towards the floor so the front of the abdominals have to work a little harder to make that C curve. And reach forward. Sit up nice and tall. And then lift that sternum. Arms come back to the front and roll down. So really trying to separate the vertebra on the back of the body as we're asking the front of each vertebra to come closer together to make that C curve. There you go. Nice and tall, shoulders over hips, and reach forward. Sit up nice and tall, reach to the crown of your head, and then lift that sternum. Arms to center. We're going to do just one more roll up. Come down. And last one. Inhale as you nod that head. Exhale as you curl. Drop the vertebra back. Let them open in the back, close in the front. Shoulders over the hips. Sit up upright. And then reach up and over. Nice and tall. And open. Arms together. And roll down. Good. All right, let's see, where should we go from here? Let's do one more thing from a tabletop shape. Now what I want you to do, it's going to sound pretty easy, is I want you just to bring your fingertips to the front of your pelvis and pay attention to that they're flat to start with, right? They should be equally distant from the wall, from the ceiling. You're going to see if you can bring one leg out to the side without disturbing anything else. So don't let that pelvis rock. And other side. And don't be surprised if one side is a little easier than the other. Make note of that for yourself. Reach out. And reach out. Now, if that's really super easy and you're feeling there's no discrepancy between the hips, reach the leg up. Now reach that leg out. Keep the torso absolutely still. Pay attention to the area underneath the waistband. Let's stay on the same side because that's where you start to lift up in the lumbar. Keep it nice and flat on the floor. Just 3 more. Reach out. And you can continue with the bent leg if this all of a sudden starts to be too much. And 2 more. Reach out. And back in. And reach away. And back in. Bend that knee. Let's open the other leg. Keep the leg bent for the first 3 just to feel where that is for you. And 1 more. Now straighten that leg. Really monitor yourself. Only go as far as you can keep your pelvis and your thoracic spine nice and low. Just 3 more. Oh, I can smell the difference of smoke. The wind must have changed. And last 2. And last 1. And come down. So I want you to make a note for yourself which side felt a little less stable, because there can be 2 things affecting that. One, obviously we're working in the hip, so it could be a little bit in the hip area that needs a little more strength. It can also be that, let's say it's my left leg, which it is for me, that means that the chain, the oblique chain that comes from the right and wraps down around to the left is a little weaker than your right oblique chain. So if you've noticed a discrepancy when we're doing our rotationals, it's your class. So take a time to do 2 on the side that is you found is less stable, and then do 1 on the other side. So nobody can see you. You can do whatever works for you. And just know that that's a good thing to pay attention to because we're all uneven. There's nobody that's not uneven. So let's do our hundreds. So bring your hands over your chest. And just one time we're going to come up and figure out which shape you're going to take for today, because you're going to have to hold it for the whole time. And come back in. I shouldn't say that. You can always change your shape. If you have tight Hip flexors, this one is actually a better one because the weight of the legs is just coming straight into the hips and they don't have to do as much. So take an inhale to come up and let's begin. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, curl up a little higher, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, last 2, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, come in. Let those legs just be nice and still. Good. Let's go right into our series of 5. We'll start with double leg, go to single. And today I want to go right to crisscross from single since it's the same exact leg pattern. And then we'll do our hamstring with scissors and then we'll do our lower lift. So bring those legs up and bring yourself forward. Know that you can always support your head here. You don't have to have the arms long. Inhale to open and exhale. Inhale to open and exhale. See if you can lift a little bit when those legs are coming in. Let's do 10s today, so 5 more. And 3. And last 2. And 1. Good. Left hand to right knee, right hand to shin, curl up. Make this an isometric. Don't just bring that leg all the way in. Pull yourself up to meet the leg and exchange. Last one. Good. Same legs, hands to head, and crisscross over to meet your leg. Don't let the elbow come across. We're trying to use that oblique chain to cross over. It's an up and over. Five more sets. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Calm down. Take a break. So we're going to do our scissors next. One leg reaches away, one leg reaches up. Crawl up and again. Push that leg into your hands as your hands are pulling the leg back. And let's go. Pulse and pulse. Pulse, 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 pulse. 5 more sets. And reach long. Reach that leg nice and long. And up. Pulse, pulse. Pulse, pulse. Last 2. Make them your best. Curl up as high as you can. And come down. So the next one, everybody holds their head. It's our double leg. So I just want to give you the option. I always do mine from here and go down and up. If that's really a challenge on your abdominals, you can come from here and just go to where you start to feel that back come off, right? It's a little bit less distance away from the body. So just do whichever one seems right for your body. So here we go. Curl up and down, 2, 3, 4, and lift. I usually do 6 of these, so let's try for 8 today. And lift. Down, 2, 3, 4, and lift. Down, 2, 3, 4. Pay attention at the bottom, right? Pay attention. Let those abs really help you. And last 2. And last one. Bend those knees, bring them down. and roll down. Good. So let those feet and knees be together. Let those knees fall to the right. Bring that left arm up over the shoulder. Keep the shoulder blade down and then rotate the head towards that armpit and reach that hip, those sits bones, reach them away to lengthen that lower back. Breathe all the way down into the pelvis. Try to get a little relaxation in that area. And then bring them back to center. Everything comes back to center. And rotate to the other side. Bring that arm up. Rotate the head towards that armpit. And reach that top hip. Reach the sits bones for the feet. Get a nice long stretch. And come back. Let's do one more thing in this position before we change. So I want to just do a really simple lateral. So you're going to come up, doesn't have to be very high, but then you're going to reach for your feet and come back. Reach on the other side for your feet and come back. Opening up through the ribs on the side, letting that side body do a little work and get a little stretch at the same time. Reach. And reach. Let's do 3 more sets. Reach. Don't forget about that little lift. Should be at the bottom edge of your shoulder blades. And last one. And reach. Bring your hands to your head and let your neck be nice and long in your hands. Good. Let's come to our side. A little side work. Let's today start either in the banana shape or straight line, whichever one gives you enough balance. You have your top hand to use as a little kickstand. We're going to reach those legs long away and lift them up and bring them down and lift them up and bring them down. One more time like that. Reach long and lift and down. And now let's see if we can add the upper body. I'm not sure I have enough room in my room, but we'll try. So this time you can still have your hand here. You're going to, before you lift, you're going to reach the extremities away and then lift and away. Now if I had room, I would be lifting my arm more. Don't have any room here. One more like that. Reach those legs and arms away and come down. Now this time let's see if we can balance well enough that we have our hand involved. So this is where some people prefer that banana shape. It gives them a little bit more stability. Ready? And come up and lift that arm and leg and come down. Ready? Come up. You can do it in stages. Lift and down. Just one more like that. Ready? Reach long first and then lift and down. Good. Let's come into that clamshell shape now. So we're going to start this a different way. Instead of starting with regular clamshell, we're going to start by lifting our knee up and we're going to circle that leg in the hip socket and reach up and around and reach up and around. Let's just do 4 in each direction. And let's go the other way. Reach and reach and reach. Last one. So that hip should be nice and lubricated. Remember that the feet are trying to be more in line with the spine. You want to make sure that the 2 sides of the pelvis are on top of each other, so no falling down into that waist where the ribs are really touching the floor all the way down. reach it up. You should have a little space between those lower ribs, and the waist should be a little off, and reach that leg up. Do not let yourself sit back. Feel where that end range is. Reach through the knee. Reach and make that bone nice and long. And up. And up. And up. 5 more. 5. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Let's do another variation. Reach it up. Reach that leg long. Bring that leg in and bring it down. Reach it up. Reach that leg long. Bring it in and bring it down. Just 3 more. We'll just do 5 of those. Reach in and down and up and reach and in and down. I think this is 5. And down. Good. So now I want to give you the option of where you put your leg, whether you want to leave it here, which I like to call the kickstand position, or whether you want to attempt trying to be a little more into the balance. And you have this hand, remember, to stabilize you, so it's not that big a deal. We're going to do our leg circles from side today because we didn't do them on our back. So you're going to reach forward only as far as you don't have to tuck. Reach up. Reach back and then come forward again. Reach up. Don't worry too much about which direction your leg is. The top of the thigh is a ball and it knows what it needs to do, right? It externally rotates there, comes back into parallel there. So just let it do its thing. Reach through that foot. Try to make that leg really long. Let's do 2 more. Reach up. Reach back and forward. Reach up. Reach back and come together. Good. Let's just do one more thing and hopefully I'll remember everything on the other side. Let's do our little windshield wiper. So tap in the front, or some people call it hot potato, and tap in the back, opening up that hip, but not adding an arch. Just reach that leg long and tap down. And over, up and tap, and over, up and tap. Feel that opening in the hip. Let's do 3 more. I was not counting. And 2, up and over, and 3, and up and over. Good, and just come down. So let yourself stretch out that hip, and then I'll meet you on the other side. So through your 4 stretch, or if there's a hip stretch you like from yoga or any other practice that you do, just give it a little stretch. And then roll over onto your other side, and we're going to start with that lengthening away, and you can have your legs, like we said before, either in that banana shape or in a straight line, and you're going to just lift those legs up and bring them back down, and lift those legs up and bring them back down. One more time like that. Reach those legs away and lift them up and bring them down. Now lengthen that lower arm, and again, I don't really have room in my room. Hand in front for stability, and reach up the upper body and the lower body, and back down. And reach long first, and then lift, and back down. See if you can do that without that front hand support, because then we're going to start to add that hand to hip, hand and leg comes up with you and back down. Reach long first and then lift and down. One more time. Reach low and lift. And down. Good. Now let's bring our legs to that tabletop. And you can be supporting your head any way you like to. And just make sure that the hips are on top of each other, right? So the first one we're going to do, we're going to just lift that knee to the height of the hip. And you're going to do 4 circles in each direction. 2, trying not to move forward or back. Just moving that leg and reverse the direction. Good, and come down. So make sure that you have that little picot underneath your waist and first ribs, and reach that knee up and down. Reach that knee up and down, and reach and down. Making sure you're not falling backwards. You're only going to where those rotators can get you without starting to use the back. We're just using the rotators around the hip. Just 4 more. And 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now we're going to do 5 with that leg extension. Knee up, extend that leg, bring it back to the foot and close. And open and reach down to the foot and close. Just 3 more. Open and reach down to the foot and close and open and reach down to the foot and close. Last 2 and reach and down and close. Last 1 and reach and down and close. So now we're going to do leg circles. So you can leave that kickstand or you can straighten out. Ready? You still have that hand here for support. Reach forward only as far as you don't have to tuck. Reach back only as far as you don't have to arch, right? You should be feeling the difference when you come down. You're really using the adductor to touch that floor. Reach forward, up and tap and reach all the way. Reach that leg long and forward, up and around and forward, up and around. Let's do 2 more, up and around and forward, up and around. Now just leave that leg back there, tap it down, up and over, tap in the front, up and over, tap in the back, up and over, tap in the front, up and over, tap in the back, up and over, up and over. Let's do 4 more, up and tap, and up and tap, and up and tap, and up and tap. I think this is the last one. And up and tap. Bring those legs back together and then roll onto your back and stretch that hip. And then from your back, I would like you to sit up just to feel where your center is. And then you're going to reach with a long back and you're going to bring your hands down. So if you have tight shoulders, you might be more comfortable here, right? With the arms spread wide so that the shoulders can be a little wider. On the forearms, it's a little tighter shape. So feel both of them and see which one feels better for you. No matter what, we're thinking of opening those shoulders wide to the side so we don't collapse down, right? Reach those shoulders out. Bring those legs up. Ready? We're going to roll to the right, down to the center, over to the left, and back to the center. over to the left, through the center, over to the right, and center. Reach the whole time. Keep those legs active and long so they don't weigh too much on you. And back. Again. Over and up. Over and up. One more time. Over and around. Out to the side, back to the midline, out to the side, and up. Bring those feet down. So that should have felt a little bit like a tiny massage on your sacrum, right? Let's do a little rolling in a ball, and then we're going to do a little roll over. So come to whatever shape you like for your rolling in a ball. Make sure you're near the front edge of your mat and sit up nice and tall. And the same way as we do roll up, we start with that little tiny rolling up. We're starting with the neck. This time we're going from the other direction and then roll back and come up. Make sure you don't straighten that neck at the bottom because we don't want you to hit the cervical spine. Keep a nice little tuck the whole way, keeping the frontal abdominals working. Let's do one more. And hold. Feel your balance. Have your feet a little bit off the floor, right? Straighten one leg up and bring it down. Straighten the other leg and bring it down. Bring them both. I'm going to move back just a little bit. There we go. Now, see if you can let go. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. One more time. Lower and lift. Come in. Take a little break. So the next time we do that, we're going to leave the legs and we're just going to lower the sacrum down and come up. Ready? Join me. Lower the sacrum down and come up. Just two more. Lower down and come up. Lower down and come up and come in. So let's do a butterfly, and then I want to do open leg rocker. So bring the soles of the feet together and just let the legs fall open. And you can even move them a little up and down just to stretch the inner groin area. And just hold them so they have support. Keep your spine nice and long, but try to relax at the groin area. And then we're going to do a few rolling as an open leg rocker so that we get that roll over in a different variation. So be careful if your room is tight like mine. And remember, you can do your open leg rocker from here. If your hamstrings are tight, it's better to be where it's functional. You should be able to sit upright in whatever position you start in. Otherwise, you're going to come all the way around to holding the legs straight if your hamstrings will let you. Feel that upright position first. The legs are there, the legs are reaching, so everything is active. You're going to tuck that tailbone, sink that belly, and come up all the way. Sit nice and tall, tuck the tail, drop the belly, and over and up. Two more times. Drop the tail, drop the navel, and up. Last one, drop and roll. And up. Good. Bring those legs together. Release those arms. Roll all the way down. Good. Let's do one rotational. So let's first just sit with our legs close together. Sit upright on your sits bones. First, we'll just do simple rotation. So have the elbows about in line with the shoulders. Palms are facing the head. And you're just going to pulse to the side. As you rotate, think about reaching up through the top of the head. center. Rotate and center. And rotate and center. And rotate and center. Let's do one more like this. Rotate and center. And rotate and center. Good. Let's open our legs just a little. And we're going to do 2 spine stretches. So we are going to try to keep our sacrum perpendicular to the mat and just use the vertebra in the spine. Ready? So have your arms in front of you. Make sure your shoulder blades are down the back. And start as if you have something in front of you that you're going up and over. Go as far as you can. And now start stacking from the bottom of the spine. So you need to think of lifting up as you come back to upright. One more time like that. Up and over. So the waistband is reaching for the spine. The spine is reaching for your toes. And then slowly from the bottom, you're stacking back on top and reaching up through the crown of the head. Now you can open your legs a little wider if that's good for you. We're going to go into saw. So open those arms, reach those fingertips away. Again, the sacrum stays perpendicular to the mat and reach for the pinky toe. Reach back through the back hand and come to center. Front hand is external, back arm is internal, pulse, pulse. Reach back and come center. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more sets. Pulse, pulse, and reach, and up, and rotate, pulse, pulse, and reach, and up. Last set like this, pulse, pulse, and reach, and up, and rotate, pulse, pulse, and reach, and up. Now rotate, pulse, pulse, bring that back arm down, reach up and over. Feel that stretch through the pectorals and back to where you came from and center. Just one more. Reach, pulse, pulse, back arm down, reach up and over, open everything up. Back to your position and come center. Good. Good. So I'm going to do one thing that is different. So we're going to come into, what can we call this? A flat bridge, maybe we can call it. I don't really know what to call it. We're doing an upside down quadruped. And now start to roll down. Roll down. And then lift those hips up and roll up. Ready? Roll down and tuck the tail and roll up. Now while you're up there, reach forward into the knees and reach back a little. Reach forward into the knees and reach back a little. One more time. Forward and back and center and roll all the way down. Good. Let's come on to our fronts and let's do double leg kick because then we'll get a little extension and we will end with swimming from there. So remember, this is the one that we alternate our cheeks. Our hands are on the small of our back. We're going to kick 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Full extension. And turn and kick. 2, 3. And reach long. And change. Kick. 2, 3. And reach and change. Kick. 2, 3. Reach and change. Kick. 2, 3. Reach and change. Kick. 2, 3. Reach and change. Last one. Kick. 2, 3. Reach and change. Kick, 2, 3. Reach, hold. Bring the arms to the front and come into your swimming. Keep yourself nice and long, even through the neck. And hold. Bring the hands under the chest. Now, before you come up, think of activating all the muscles around the torso so that when you come up, try not to go into that sacrum and lumbar, right? Trying to think of connecting first and then keep that tight as you come up. And now sit back into your child's pose. Now, even though our ribs touch our legs, for most of us, still think of lifting up towards the spine a little so we have a little more muscular activation. Bring those hands over to one side of the mat and reach the hand that's in front and the same hip on the same side away from each other. Try to get a nice long stretch. Come back to the center and then reach over to the other side. The arm that's in front is going to try to inch forward. The hip on the same side is going to try to sit back. Get a nice stretch. We have time? No, we don't. Okay, and then, so there you go. Hope that was good for you. And we will see you ladies hopefully next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.